welcome to the Must Love Yarncast.
Here we are.
Welcome
back.
Welcome back. We thought that we were going to be at 2 weeks, but now we're at 3 weeks. And
life is
you
annoying.
Can listen to all of the nitty-gritty details.
All the complaining is in the outtakes.
In the outtakes about why the extra week.
And not complaining, just sort of, hopefully, not complaining, like a matter-of-fact recital of
Well, but it's not really
events.
complaining. It's more like, this is what's been going on.
Yes, the reality of what's been going on is slightly annoying.
Yeah, life. So we are bringing you this Yarncast from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont, where you're going to be able to buy a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today. We're going to show you some other things as well. We're going to talk about some projects, knitting and otherwise, probably lots of knitting because both of us are sort of
I have crochet.
Reluctant crocheters.
Yes, but I'm in the crochet phase.
Amazing.
Project,
Is this your crochet era?
No, it's the necessity of crochet. Finish things.
So you can find the store out on social media as Must Love Yarn. We are on Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook. I did set up a Blue Sky account for the store. It's maybe had one post because I'm the one in charge of it. So
I haven't managed to find my way over there.
Your mileage will vary. I will add the Blue Sky link to our show notes for the store.
For those of you that want to populate that for us.
Absolutely. Totally fun. I think I was talking about it last time because I set up an account for myself, which I also have not posted a huge amount in. It's kind of like Instagram and Twitter had a baby. Like, that's probably the best way to describe it.
It's kind of like Threads then.
Yeah.
It's just like, also, can these things, I know they can't cross-post to each other because that's the whole point of having Blue Sky as a separate entity, but my life is much simpler when I can do one thing and it goes to like everywhere. 4 different locations.
Yeah. There's probably an app somewhere you can get that would bridge that gap.
I'm pretty sure there's like a
something.
We are over here, you are over there.
No, I know, but computer people are great because they design things that fix those things for all of us. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, anyway. This is not a show about computer apps.
No.
Phone apps.
No, it's not.
So I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
You can find me out on social media, Instagram, Ravelry, and Blue Sky as Junior Bird Kid.
I'm on Instagram and Ravelry and Facebook and Threads, not the other thing yet. And on Instagram, I am Jennifer_Arbuckle, and on Ravelry, I'm J Arbuckle. Mm-hmm. Right? So
yep.
I don't even know anymore.
No, that's correct. And we have links in show notes. So
don't rely on my verbal descriptions because they're probably not 100%.
We talk about them, but I put them on the bottom on the screen.
Oh, all right. Good to know.
So.
Yeah,
all right.
Read that down there.
If you can. Sometimes it's in white letters and it's over on Jen. I might have to flip it to the other side to go across me.
I couldn't wear my sweater today because it was too hot.
Oh my God, it was so hot in here. I took
now
my
I'm getting
sweater off
chillier,
too.
though. I might have to put my sweater on.
Because I turned the heat down.
Yes.
So we like to start our Yarncast with our Yarncast pick. And if you watched the episode we did 3 weeks ago, we announced a couple of new knit-alongs for folks, both of which take like DK sport weight yarn. And so we thought we'd pull some yarns, 2 yarns for you that you could use for either of those alongs.
They're related to each other, these yarns.
Are related to each other. They're lovely. They're also new to us in the store. Yeah. So it's like
we might have shown them last time. I can't remember.
I think we mentioned them. I don't think we pulled these ones. I think we said, hey, we have this.
It must have been in the newsletter then that I had a picture and a little description. Yeah.
So these are both Noro yarns, which are lovely. And these are like what I would classify as a non-scratchy Noro.
Well, there's no wool. There's that.
There you go.
Right. It's a cotton, viscose, silk, polyamide blend. Mm-hmm. And actually, we brought it in particularly for people who want the look of wool-ish or fiber-y yarn, but can't wear wool because we get a lot of requests for that. And so when Bella found this, so this is sort of the barber pole-y kind of version. There's 5 colorways there. You can see they're lovely. And then we have sort of matching solids. Let's see if I We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors.
Yep.
Um,
And so the variegated, or the Barbara Poli, is Sonata Shima. It's $24.99 a skein.
this is Sonata, no Shima.
And it is $22.99
Yeah.
a skein. These are 100 grams. It's 380 meters. So, pretty good put up for
it's a great
for the
color.
yarn.
This is a good neutral color.
But you could definitely use these for either of the no longs, which one is pressed flowers. The other one is the hood along, which calls for some DK weight, yarn. You could, so
they're in those beautiful Noro colors. They've had this color in their thing for so long. It's one of my favorites. I have some.
But I mean, look at these two are just like gorgeous because it's picking up. There's that rust color is in this
navy
yarn,
is really
and
nice
that
as well.
navy goes really nice with it too. It really kind of depends on like what sort of look do you want. Like that would be super fun.
And if you're a lover of this green color, it's really,
those two would be
but even
gorgeous.
These two are really good
I think
together.
you could even put it with that one.
Yeah.
Like those.
So yeah, there's lots of great choices.
Have a nice neutral, or this one. That would be fun too.
So this may not make the warmest hood in the world,
but if you are someplace where
also if you don't like scratchy stuff,
you don't like scratchy stuff, you can't wear wool. You want that style of like hat, like hood, cowl sort of thing. And you can wear it just as a cowl. So
this is one of the patterns that we were talking about that I printed. I haven't picked my yarn for it, but it's Hoodala by Laura Nelkin.
And there's also I can't even say it.
So you can wear it a couple of different ways.
Caltopus is the brioche version of that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just doing the pictures without the words. So I like it because I have a balaclava that I knit actually out of Noro a number of years ago, and I wear it under a hat when I'm out walking. And even though it's Noro, but once you wash Noro, I think I use Silk Garden, so it was like the wool silk blend. It's really quite warm, actually.
Yeah.
And
it's the silk. Yeah. Silk is very warm. It's warmer than wool.
Yeah, but the combo together is really good. And then I just wear a wool hat over it, but then it's not because it only has a hole like this big. So against my skin, I'm not getting that sort of rubby. Yeah. So anyway, I haven't started this yet, but it's on my list. I am looking at some Bobolink yarns to knit it from.
And so because this is going to go live on Valentine's Day, I think we'll make the coupon code YP Show Love.
Sure.
Because I know we haven't used it before. And so YP Show Love.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day for the Shima and the Sonata. It will apply to both of those yarns. And we'll make it 3 weeks, so it'll run from February 14th through March 7th, because we know we're not going to be hitting
our schedules do not align at the end of the month.
Yeah, our 2 week window. So we'll make it 3 weeks, so you basically get this through the end of the month and a little bit for March. So hopefully, or the other thing is, like, this would make a lovely like spring top, or if you're already starting to think.
Or if you're in a warmer climate.
Yeah, if you're in a warmer climate, like, this would be delightful.
Yeah, it's got a really nice, it's got that slightly nubby sort of Noro effect, but it's really, because it's DK weight, it'll smooth out when you're knitting with it, and it's just really has a really nice feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see you could even make like a rocket tee with that, even though that's more for like fingering weight. Like it would, I mean, I think you could knit it at either gauge or at either patterns using both of those. You might have to make some adjustments.
Yeah,
but
and it's a light DK. It's not a
Yeah.
heavy it's not like one of the ones that's
Yeah.
all. You know,
Almost a
DK is
worsted.
always, of all of the yarn weights, to me, that is the strangest one. The
widest
the range is very wide between
Yeah.
what is classified as DK or not. Might even be a sport.
You know,
really.
it's calling for, US 3 to 5. So that's maybe
Sport.
closer to a sport weight.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks use sport and DK interchangeably.
Because as you all know, your own individual tension is the decider of all that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we hope you enjoy this yarn as much as we are enjoying it. It's quite lovely.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
Beautiful.
So Jen and I both showed up today wearing sweaters.
It's one you've seen 100 times before. I might have to put it back on.
I'm going to put it back on.
I'm getting chill around the
because
edges.
The temperature has dropped a
Enough.
little bit.
Yeah.
I also turned the heat down. But it was like boiling hot in here.
It's very snow day outside, so I think we all had.
The lights came back on.
Oh, bizarre. Since I reached
Yeah,
into the corner away from the light.
Right. I know.
I actually was wearing the sweater because it's not my only snow day sweater, but it feels like a snow day kind of sweater because it's my heavy wool.
I'm going to take my shift cowl off.
Excuse the
what this is. The
wardrobe
shift.
Change.
With like 3 skeins of Malabrigo. And I will put a link in show notes so you guys
and Anne
find
knit
that.
this Glasshouses shawl a while back, also out of Malabrigo.
Yes.
I think Ravelry Red and here, hold on, it's right here.
I can't remember what the other one was, but it's pretty, and I think I have more of a chameleon.
Chameleon.
Yeah.
Yes. Glasshouses designed by Callie Monster.
It's a mosaic knitting pattern.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
It was super fun. Look, I finished my weekender.
Moving into FOs.
Yeah. What we're wearing and FOs. So
oh, right, true.
I have both. I finished
Do you
sweater.
like it?
I do.
I love mine. It's loose and very, yeah.
I like that it's loose around the body.
Nice.
I gotta get used to this neckline. I
wear
wear
a
a lot
lot
of
of
V-necks.
Yeah, I wear turtlenecks in the winter, like little ones, because my neck gets cold otherwise. V-necks make me cold in the wintertime.
I find like if I have something on the back of my neck, I'm fine.
Oftentimes I also wear like a blouse, like a button down or something.
Yeah.
And so I like the wider neckline for that because then that shows better.
I'm dealing with this. I don't, and it's just me getting used to having something this high up on my neck.
Well, not everybody loves a boat neck. It's definitely a boat neck sweater.
Yeah, definitely a boat neck. But I think overall, like, I love the bagginess of it. I love the sleeves are nice. The body fits really well. So all in all, like, I can figure out how to live with that. But I like it. It's a nice sweater.
It's very sweatshirty, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those sweaters that I don't go home and like change out of when I get home because
you just like leave it on.
Yeah.
I really want these seams up higher on my shoulders, but when I do that, it gets too high up on my throat.
Yeah.
So I'm having some where I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like the two color, like counter colors.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was thinking that there is, like on mine, because there's more variegation in the yarn, there is more of a contrast between the stockinette and the reverse stockinette, where the sleeve is stockinette and the body is reverse. Whereas yours is much more muted. Yeah. You still see it, but it's not as prominent.
Yeah. Yeah. So
nice.
No, I'm happy and sweater done.
Yeah.
Using yarn from stash I've had for years and kept meaning to make the sweater.
Yeah.
Now I've done it.
Go. Right.
Good job, me.
You're welcome.
You're
inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Inspiration for you to make the sweater you had picked out years ago.
And then just got distracted, which is the story of my life.
Yes. Well, that's the story of all of the whips in our lives.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And what sweater are you wearing today?
Goldfinger. I think it's Goldwing.
Goldwing sounds right. I don't think she has one called Goldfinger.
That's all I can think of every time I put it on, which is silly, but it's the Jen Steingass sweater. You guys have seen it 100 times before, unless you're new. Let me just find it just to be sure so I don't miscall it something. And as everyone knows, also if you're new, you won't know this, but I tend to experiment with things. So it is Goldwing, yes. And, but I knit it not using the right yarn. I used recycled yarn that I pulled out of another sweater. So the gray yarn is a local shepherd, kind of heavier worsted / Aran weight, and the blue, navy blue, is woolstock worsted weight.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, my notes are in my project page because I knit it at a very different gauge. The pattern sits differently. The pattern comes down much further because the row gauge is different, so different. So I had to split the pattern at the sleeves instead of, usually her pattern's it ends at the yoke.
Yep.
So anyway, so yeah.
Nice.
It's a nice warm sweater.
Yeah.
For this day.
Nice for a snow day.
Yes.
Snow day.
Till you get inside, you're too hot.
Right. When you're like, oh my God, why is it 74 degrees in here?
Yes.
Exactly. So I have some other finished objects.
I don't have any, so go for it. Mine are all
I noticed that I still had this one on the whips list, and I just, full disclosure, I've done nothing with it, so it's still not seamed or ends woven in.
So it's exactly as it was.
It's exactly as it was the last podcast, when really all I need to do is just seam that and then block it, and I could wear it. So
with this sweater,
this sweater, I know I had thought about that.
You could tuck it into the neck, and maybe that would make you feel better.
I know, or just it would be really. It would go so well with the sweater, but
it's very.
I guess I just can't be bothered to do a mattress stitch.
Oh no, believe me.
Weaving in ends. Actually, I have a whole pile of projects here that the knitting's done, and the ends have not been woven in because that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point, well, first of all, I knit a lot of sweaters that don't have a ton of ends, but I spent a lot of time weaving in ends on my blanket.
For that blanket. Yeah.
So,
so maybe
you have to get into that Zen sort of mode where you're just, or if you're sick, it's a good thing to do.
I've been finding
while you're sick.
I need like daylight.
Yes.
And so that limits when I have available to weave in ends. My knitting time happens the evening now.
Yeah. And even with a light and whatever else.
Yeah, it's just not the same. And my eyes are really tired at the end of the day. And so this feels like a Saturday afternoon or like a Sunday afternoon kind of project. So maybe this afternoon, today is the day where all of the ends will get woven in. I have some things here that need buttons and ribbon, and for
maybe
those
it'll be like one of those days.
Been watching for a while, you know what happens when that's involved.
Means another box of ribbon will be arriving at Angie's house later this week.
Yes. I'm gonna check what I have in stash first. I'm not fully convinced that I'm gonna actually do ribbon on them. For some of the baby stuff, I've just been doing a backing button and not doing ribbon, and just being like, it's good enough, like, it's fun.
Yeah.
Get it out of here.
It's one less thing to worry about in the
wash.
Exactly.
So I did finish this, and I did weave the ends in on this one. Why, I don't know. This was the one that I was like, maybe it's a cowl, maybe it's a hat. And Jen
it started as a hat.
Jen looked at it and was like, that's enormous for a hat. It would work.
It would have.
It would have worked.
You could
wear it as a hat now.
You could close off.
It just looked really big.
It did.
For it to be a hat. Isn't that funny?
Maybe because your hats are generally very small.
Yeah, no,
they look small to me usually.
That's true.
I can never quite imagine that they'll fit.
It could have been a hat, but it's a cowl.
Did it get wider at the bottom?
I don't know what's going on with it. It looks like it is, but I think it's just the bind off versus the cast on edge.
Or your tension.
That totally could be too. No, because when you like, I think it's the bind off versus the cast on edge. Because it was literally just a tube that got knitted. I might do some more of these. This is like a Lion Brand, like bulky yarn. It's good to just go in like the donate pile. It's a fast project.
Yeah.
So super fun. So that's done as a cowl, but it could have been a hat. Maybe I'll make the next one as a hat. I don't know. So I have that. Should I just keep going?
I don't have any of
okay.
those. So
Okay, so I have some baby stuff that
speaking of tiny little hats.
Yeah, tiny little hats that.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Isn't this cute?
It is cute.
So adorable. This is the Snow Beanie.
It's adorable.
By Pernell Larson.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I was not overly enamored with the 3-color Fair Isle.
Yeah. Don't mind me.
No, it was my hair all over the place.
It's a little bedraggled. It's annoying to carry.
To be
also, it gets kind of chunky behind there.
Yeah, to be frank, like that was not my favorite thing to do.
Duplicate stitch.
3. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's quite a.
I would have done the little snows as duplicate,
maybe. But it's super cute for a little baby. It's DK weight yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I used this is
the ears will be very warm.
Vintage Baby, and this is some Malabrigo Arroyo. That was left over from this little guy, which again has no ends woven in, because that's where I'm at right now.
Super cute.
So cute. So this is Spelt. Oh. It's just a cute little.
It reminded me of that one you used to make with the stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playful stripes.
Sleeveless. It's got this fun little cable detail where the gusset increases are, like on the front and the back. So just added another little layer. Sleeveless, so no sleeves to do. Super fun, very cute. For just a little
That's
girl.
A cute little set.
Yeah, no, these two together is that so nice. And this kind of stuff kids can wear for a really long time.
Yeah.
One, because it doesn't have sleeves, and it just becomes shorter on the body. So
it might be a dress, and then it turns into a little tunic.
Exactly, or a little hits their waist kind of.
And plus, because it probably only has buttons on the yoke.
So it has buttons all the way down,
it does?
And I was considering just putting buttons on the yoke. And then was like, no, let's just do the pattern. Yeah. It'll be fine. But you could totally leave the buttons open at the bottom, and it becomes like a little flyaway, and it's just
it's cute.
So super cute. Malabrigo Arroyo. Again, it's like a sport weight yarn, so there's a ton of yarn. I had no problems knitting both of these out of one skein.
You probably have some left.
I have a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Not a huge amount.
In fact, because it's stranded, the hat.
The hat's stranded, and there's actually more purple in there than it's mostly purple.
Well, I was thinking yes, but then when you're carrying it all the way across,
you've got it.
Section,
the inside's just all the things, but it will be warm because there's 3 strands of yarn in there. And soft. That Vintage Baby is really soft. It's super nice. So there we go. That this Snow Beanie, there's like a hat, and there's a sweater, and there's a dress. Cute. Like there's like all the things.
It's adorable. I would highly recommend duplicate stitch for the snow.
Me too, and I don't even like doing duplicate stitch because the 3-color work was like, my brain was like, really? Why? And your yarn gets all like tangled.
Especially because it's just for these little blips of white.
I know. Yeah. This took so long to do because I had to spend so much time untangling yarn.
Yeah. I suppose you could have done like a little bobbin or something, but it's annoying.
All right. Okay, so I'll stop complaining about those. So those are done. And then I had another little, it's not baby because this kid's like 4 years old. But I realized like I hadn't given them anything when they were born. And this stuff's for this kid, this one's cousin. So like they're going to know. And I was just like, oh, maybe I need to take care of this. So I've made this sweater before for my nieces. This is the Cove cardigan by Heidi May.
Oh, it's pretty with that band.
Yeah, it's got this great little like lace band, and it's got this cool little
little peplum in the back or whatever.
Yeah, a little increase in the back of the sweater.
It's super cute.
And just in like 3/4 sleeves. So again, like
I did think they looked short, but I didn't want to say.
Yeah, no. It's meant to only be 3/4 sleeves.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And the raglan increases are pretty also.
Yeah, so it's a really nice sweater. This is just some woolies, Lion Brand woolies. Mostly because kid stuff you really want machine washable. The colors were good.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, no ends woven in because apparently that's where I'm at. I'm waiting for buttons for this one. I ordered some from Katrinkles because she's got cool buttons that I think will match. So that's my other finished object. That's all I got for finished objects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 whips. I know it's sad to keep talking about the stupid blanket.
No. But blankets.
So all of the squares. So I, of course, was like part of my research first of all, I finished the last square.
The December square.
Which I believe is this one. Yeah, I think so. It's chilly in December, especially towards the end. We had some cold days. So my yarn finally came. And now in retrospect, as I've been spending every evening crocheting, edging onto these squares, I thought to myself, well, I could have been doing that this whole time. And I did one square and then I did a lot of math, and I'm pretty sure I have enough of the cream colored yarn to do the connecting and a border around the edge of the whole thing. So I don't need any more of that, thank goodness. Because that has also been discontinued. It's just so odd to me that they discontinued this white natural color.
This lovely neutral.
Which has a little bit of tonality to it. And then this, like the darker blue. Like, it's a nice blue. I don't know why they would discontinue those colors. But anyway, they have. So all
this is why we always tell you to buy all of the yarn that you need. No, I know, for a project. Because this happens.
And who knows the temperature. And I needed like...
just like a
tenth of a skein.
Oh my God.
It was ridiculous. Although then I was like, well, damn it, because I have choices in which color I can choose to use. And I was like, it could be dark blue or it could be light blue. It's dark blue because that's the yarn that I bought for this extra.
Right.
So
yeah.
waited for.
Yeah.
So of course I was like looking up crocheting squares together, like what's the easiest way to do this that doesn't involve my having to crochet around the edge, and like is there some sort of like connector thing? And then I was like, you know what though, the edges are funny because they're mitered squares, so you have 2 knit edges and then you have the ends of the rows for the other 2 obviously. So I decided that the squares weren't very wonky, but I decided that crocheting around them would be better first before I joined them together. And also I had brought the yarn up, between the colors a couple of times. So I wove in all the ends like a good person, and now I'm just in it to finish it properly, even though it's driving me a little crazy. And it's interesting because you can see the crochet is a little wonkier on the ends where it's loose.
Where's the ends?
Yeah,
right?
Instead of the knit side.
Yeah.
So, but when I join them all together, it'll
lay flat.
Yeah.
It'll sort itself out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now I have to join all the squares together, and then I have to go around the whole perimeter.
Okay.
Okay. My single crochet skills have improved dramatically over the last. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
I spent this is what I've been working on pretty much the whole week, other than a little bit of this bandana thing.
No, I can see that. It takes more time than you think.
It's crazy. But the yarn calculations have been holding true.
Awesome.
I've been using slightly less than I calculated from the first one, so that's good. So I'm pretty sure I have enough. And now it's like, last night I finished the 12th edge. And then I was like, okay. Then I was doing math, and I was like, so joining them all together is like doing 3 squares, not 12, because by the time you count at the edges, or 6, I guess, because it's 2 sides of. Anyway,
right.
Right. And then going around the whole perimeter. So it'd be another couple of weeks probably before it's done. Because I have to work on other things because I get tired of doing that. So, and also, it's now at a point where I have to work on it at home, which I have been anyways, but because it's a pain to drag it around because of all the extra yarn.
Lots of squares.
Yeah, but I am happy about the way the edges look, and having the white in between is going to be good. So it'll be they're sorted in quarters.
Nice.
Seasonal quarters, I should say. So
nice. Oh, you can see those seasonal changes.
Back to the beginning. Yeah.
Right?
There they are.
There they are.
Yes. There's pictures. I think I posted one when I was sick last week, as I was laying it out in my bed trying to figure out how to put it together.
Yeah.
And I defaulted back to having all the white squares. Because when you look at it up close, having all the squares go in the same direction just looks better, because then the yarn is direct. The seams are directional from the mitered squares. It could also do some sort of zigzaggy thing, but but then you're joining weird sides to weird sides or whatever.
Right.
So
yeah. This way you're joining knitted sides to knitted sides and wonky sides to wonky sides.
No,
or
it'll be a
wonky
mixture, which is
sides
actually good
yeah.
because it will help stabilize the
Okay.
wonky sides. So
Okay.
I think. And also it'll have that single crochet or the whatever
Yeah.
crochet down the middle between them. So
Yeah.
that'll
Nice. Awesome.
yes.
Yay.
And my new the new color of my living room is like a really light turquoise. So
Oh, that'll look nice then.
yes.
It'll be a nice little accent.
It should be done
Throw.
this week, probably sometime, I
Yay.
would think, before they go into the next room. So the
What's-
next room was not planned.
What's the next room?
The laundry room,
Oh, okay.
because in the midst of all of this, I can't remember if I talked about this last time or not, but in the midst of all of this, after I put my kitty to sleep at Thanksgiving, like 2 weeks later, there was a mice invasion.
Oh no.
And in all these years, I've had cats, and
Right.
I had a 6-month break in between one of the other ones, but God, the phone is ringing off the hook today.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
Are you guys open? Well, we don't open till noon.
Not only did I have a mice invasion, but then their larger friend of theirs joined them, and chewed a hole in that floor.
Like a red squirrel.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure it was a little field rat.
Oh.
Yeah, the symbols or the signs were there, and that was like a step too far for me.
Yeah, you were like, that's it.
Yeah, so that's when I put the poison down, because I don't have a pet right now.
Right.
I'm not a fan of poisoning any creature, but sometimes you have to. And I was in the midst of everything with my mom. I just could not deal with like one other hassle at that point. And they had chewed a hole in the middle of the floor of my utility room. Not the middle, it was on the edge of where there's a trap door on the floor. So he's replacing that floor. And in the process of doing the living room, we realized, of course, that a lot of the insulation had been compromised. So he's re-insulating the outside walls. And so it's all stuff.
Oh, good.
It'll be nice.
It'll be nice.
It'll be worth
make
it.
The
Yeah.
house feel probably warmer.
Well, the living room already has made a big difference. And also the wiring that had been chewed a little bit has been replaced. Anyway, all kinds of good stuff that we found. That's
awesome.
yes. But the utility room was not part of the
list.
renovation project,
Yeah.
but he's going to fit it in around
Oh,
other
good.
projects that he's got going on. So
Awesome.
just means I won't really get my living room back for a while. So my living room is like, you can't get anywhere in my house without walking through the living room, literally.
It's like
so
Central.
Yeah.
Grand Central Station.
It is. Yeah, everything comes off of it. So
Yeah.
old schoolhouse is the way it works.
Yeah.
It's all good. So I
Um,
have 2 other whips.
So I have one whip because I was finishing stuff up. Well,
All right, well, I'll keep going then, and then we can come back.
no ends have been woven in. I'm staging for other projects over here.
Well, I have continued. This was my Take to California project that I took with me. That's the wrong thing.
Oh, you made good progress on that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's pretty straightforward once you get going. There was one wonky spot where I was like, what are you talking about here? When I turned the corner to come back, it just wasn't super clear. But so I had been talking about this a while ago when we came at the beginning of this whole odyssey in October, right before Rhinebeck, Goodwin Johnson had released the Cloud Drift Cowl. And I just loved sort of the architectural design of it, the graphic nature of it. And so I had planned to start it when we got back using Shetland Light. And actually we have a sample. I don't know if it's up there or not. Maddie knit a sample for the store using Shetland Light. She must have taken it home to block it though, because I don't remember seeing it around. Hers is in some of the darker colors, but I decided that I would make this out of Bobolink yarn, which I have. So mine
That's
is
gorgeous.
Yeah, getting there.
That's nice.
So, and now I'm on the decrease side, so it's pretty fast. So I am using kind of a little bit of yarn chicken, of course. So the only thing that is not bobolink is the mohair, which this was left over from something. It's an Ariel mohair, Barocco Ariel. And then this was left over from those tulip mints that I did a few years ago for Seasons of Vermont.
Yep.
So it's just a nice natural color. And then a little mini it's actually a really dark brown, not black. And then this Greensboro blend. So I wanted to have a sample, and I also had wanted a lighter background. It's interesting. I had wanted a cream-colored mohair, which I did not have lying around, and I wanted to get it started before I left, and so I went pawing through my leftovers, and I found this green, and I was like, I guess I could try that and see. But it's funny because
it looks nice.
The background still looks light enough for me, and there's hints of green in there, especially when you get near the multicolored one. But it's got that nice
it makes
halo.
it all play really nice, and it doesn't make the white be too stark against those other colors.
I'm a contrast person, but yes. So it's actually, and it's funny, you hold them next to each other and you're like, wow, those are pretty different. But when you put them together, you don't.
That's the magic of the mohair.
In this kind of thing, it definitely blends right in.
Yeah.
So that's that. I'll probably finish this week. This is my, it's not mindless because you have to pay attention, but you go down and then you do the same thing coming back. It's all mosaic knitting, so you're only carrying one color at a time.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite kind of color work.
Yes, and the mohair kind of softens up, so you don't have the scratchiness of the wool next to your face. So
nice.
It's funny how you can see it more on the back than on the front, but yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. I like the colors a lot, so yeah. So that's that.
The only current whips that I have is my travel socks, my basketball socks. Guys, basketball is like way too exciting, and so there's not as much knitting. It's not as boring as baseball. So there's definitely a lot less knitting that's happening. But these are also just like my walking around projects. So like if I'm, going someplace where I'm going to be standing around or, have downtime, like I'll take this with me. So this is the first sock. Like that's what I've got.
Put another inch or two on it since last time.
Yeah, I definitely have.
You were on the heel, I think, last time.
Yeah, I don't think I'd finished all the decreases.
Yeah,
so decreases are done. A couple more inches.
Colorway.
I know, her stuff is so just delightful. Every month.
And those little skinny stripes are fun.
They are. I love the skinny stripes. So just, plugging away, and pretty soon it'll be baseball season, and then I'll just be whipping socks out like nobody's business because not as much excitement in baseball. And if I'm taking pictures or videos of my kid, there's lots of downtime because like if he's batting, he only bats every,
right. He's not running around the whole time.
Basketball, it's like constant, like, oh, go, gotta get the good stuff. So yeah.
I had just started this Argyle vest, I think, last time. Yes. It was called Argyle.
Yeah.
There's a picture of it. Last time. And I think I had just cast on or something, so I put a little bit more on it. I'm at the point now where I'm ready to start the colors, and I just couldn't really deal with that. But I'm still a little concerned about, this is just the back or the front. I'm a little concerned about size, but I don't know. Little stretches. It's this part I'm less concerned about. The ribbing looks a little tight to me.
It does. It does.
But it stretches out.
Yeah.
And I probably want it stretched out. So we'll see.
Stay tuned.
It may be a shop sample for a while anyway. So because we don't have anything knit in this right now. But
is that Kathmandu?
This is Kathmandu. From Queensland United. It's not Queensland United. Queensland Connection. I always want to. I read too many British mysteries.
Right.
Queensland United is like it's like an Aran weight. Kathmandu, Aran 100. And so my triangles will be made in these two colors. And then the white stripe will be the Argyle. So that is a little different. The pattern actually calls for you to use these two accent colors in your ribbing, but I decided I didn't really want to do that. So
I mean, that's fine. That's,
Yeah.
knitter's
Yeah.
choice. You can
Exactly.
absolutely,
So because
do
also
that.
I can't even imagine you'd use like hardly any of this skein if you did that. It'd just be the white stripes.
Totally.
So anyway, so I just it's one of those ones where I had to wind the yarn and then I had to I need to get my head around like breaking these apart or bobbins or whatever because it's intarsia. So,
Yeah. Totally. Oh, right. We had this conversation and I had a reaction.
Yeah, I don't mind doing intarsia. I just have to,
Nope.
right. Yeah.
So
that's
I have
kind of it. I feel like there's
couple-
stuff at home as well that I couldn't deal with finding it this morning. So
I have a couple projects that I'm getting ready to start. I was wanting to finish up this baby stuff first.
Yeah.
So I do, Jen talked about doing the Hudala. We do have this Nelkin hood along. So she has two patterns. There's the Hudala hood, which is like a plain version. And then there's Caltopus, which has brioche in it. And so I decided to do the Caltopus because why not? Like, let's just, let's do all the things. And at about the same time I was going to start toshing my stash to find what yarn I was going to do, I got an email from Magpie Fibers announcing or reminding people that the Beavalong was starting. So she runs the Beavalong during this time. And I thought, look, I can kill sort of two birds with one stone. So I might have ordered some yarn. So this is her Swanky DK in Queen Beaver colorway and Spicy Beaver colorway that I'm going to use to make my Caltopus. Caltopus.
Awesome.
So you can do the Caltopus in like with mini skein sets. You can do it with two skeins. You could do it with a solid and a variegated. So I'm double dipping for ours and the Beavalong. But I need to wind yarn and get this going. But I'm ready to do that now.
What
So,
is it superwash? What is it?
so it's
it's an MCM.
It's a merino cashmere nylon base.
Swanky. I was just curious what the swanky was.
Swanky has
That'll be nice and soft.
Cashmere. Yes. But it's not too late to start the Beavalong. Like, I think the rule is that you have to use the yarn. Her yarn, any pattern, and like the beaver colorways. There's like 5 or 6 of them, maybe.
It's a Grocery Girls thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
Sure.
I didn't know where it came from, but I was like, that's funny, and I want it.
Yes, exactly. I think it's a Grocery Girls thing from a couple of years ago, but I could be wrong. Or maybe it's just that they talked about it as well, and that's why it's in my head. But
so not too late to join in. She did just Thea Coleman just released a bulky hat pattern that would use one skein of her bulky yarn.
Yeah. The really nice cables that end on the edge. Yeah.
It's I don't think it has cables.
I'll find the one that I'm thinking about because the one I'm thinking about is a nice pattern anyway. But
yeah, let me find the one. But anyway, so like there's still time. Like you could order yarn for this. I think I actually bought the pattern. Oh my God, why is my phone not working right now? So
this was the pattern I was thinking about. It is Thea Coleman's pattern. It's called Boston Bog.
So the one that I was looking at was called Teeling. So
they're both cool hats.
Yeah.
I was looking at this one because I thought it was nice.
Yeah, so a little less cable-y. More of like a textured pattern in between stockinette stripes. Sorry, every time I expand on Ravelry, my phone does that.
I was looking to see what weight this was. It's a worsted. This is a worsted weight.
So Teeling. Oh, there we go. That's better. Yeah. So Teeling is a bulky weight. For bulky weight yarn. So
I just like the way the cables end on that rib. And
it was knit using the Magpie Fibers bulky. So if you wanted a fast project to join the Beavalong, like that would totally work.
Either one.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's what I have for casting on. And then last time I was here, I was talking about the kaleidoscope cardigan. So this is the one where like 3 skeins of Rios were held together to make this cardigan, like super squishy, bulky.
I don't remember that one. Sorry.
Cardigan. And I remembered that in my stash, I had this fiber stash worsted weight yarn called Potluck. And I had like 5. I thought I had like 7 skeins of it, but apparently I only have 5. Can't even knit a sweater out of 5. I don't, sometimes like I question
I think
my
for a while
choices.
there though, we also were like, I only need 1,200 yards to make a sweater. Which is really, I need more than that. So
yeah, me too.
And so in my brain, I was always like, I only need 5 or 6 skeins.
5.
Yeah.
Right. So I have 5.
Make a vest.
You could make a vest, but also I'm going to use this as one of the colors for this kaleidoscope cowl or kaleidoscope cardigan. So I brought it in so I could see what else we had here. So I found, like this is one option. So this is
so they'll all be the same.
A Malabrigo and a Rios.
Sorry, I'm looking up the pattern because I'm curious. I can't remember it.
But then there's also this Noro one that kind of takes us in a different direction. So
is that solo?
Lightens it up. It I don't know, what is it? Yeah, Akari solo.
Oh, it's called, yeah.
But I still, you still need 3. So I could do like those 3. I could do those 3. I could do.
If I could spell kaleidoscope,
these
that would help.
3. Like I think I need to figure out if I want dark and light or if I want more of like a darker cardigan, because this is definitely.
Is that this one?
No, it's that one. Yep.
By Jamie Creates.
I did link to it in show notes last week, and I'll link to it again. I'm kind of leaning towards this darker set. I do like what these two do together. This has some lighter tones, and this would definitely.
Yeah, I like the blendier one, like the ones where you have some mix. Like I would probably use.
You would use this,
but I'm a contrast. I like contrast. So.
But would you use it? Would you do those 3, or would you do these 3?
I feel like these 2 were too close together, but that's just me. Maybe not.
To like those 3. I just think that I need to. I think I need to find something that was sort of in between these 2.
Yeah.
Or like this is just going to be like a weird.
I'm just concerned if they're all very similar, they're gonna. You won't even see that they're different.
But that's kind of. That does happen with that one.
I like the tonality in this, where you can actually see the colors.
Yep.
Like they just are, you can really see the different colors that she was using, but you're holding them all together.
You hold them all together. You hold all 3 strands together at once.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So she must have used a variegated, like a really variegated one,
or 2 or 3 variegated. Like you.
Yeah.
You would get
the marling is the interesting part,
right? Yeah, I can't decide. This one almost. Because I think it's like light, medium, and dark.
Yeah, I would probably
I think
do
that could be a really interesting
So
combination.
do you have enough of the fiber stash to do it, though?
Oh, I do. Yeah, because you only need, depending on what size you're making, you only need 3
you're making
to
a
4
bulky, the equivalent of a bulky.
skeins
Yeah.
of each color. Because you're knitting on like 13s or 15s. You're knitting on big
I'm with
needles.
You now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because yes.
Yeah. I mean, you could use a super bulky yarn too to make it. But I have this fiber stash. So
yeah, and it's a weird quantity.
And it's a weird quantity that I can't use for anything else. So
other than bits and pieces, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I would use something where I like
like this 3?
The variegation in
These
there.
3. Yeah.
Because I think, although this isn't terrible.
Right.
But it just is.
Right, it's just different.
It's just very blendy.
I mean, I almost like those 3, but the point was to,
right.
to use some stash.
Yeah, and I think this is the equivalent of this. Like, these are very close together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think,
those 3.
I would vote for something with some lighter in it to give it some movement. I don't know. But again, I like contrast. Right. I'm not a subtle contrast person.
I mean, I'm willing to give it a go. I mean, my eye went to this like immediately when I was walking through, looking at, that's picking up
Yeah.
those shades in there, and
Yeah.
that's just a darker version. I don't know. So that's where we are. So stay tuned for what I decide.
Yeah.
Before we have to break, we have prizes because we didn't do it last time, and I promised that we
got to
would
do them. Yeah.
get them for this time. So
That's
the
good. We're
sea
excited.
glass along, we had 2 people that posted finished objects.
Only 2?
Yes,
There's probably a lot of whips.
probably.
Myself included.
So I have prizes for both of the people.
There you go. That's a good plan.
So what we're going to do is I put their names in the bucket. So we'll attach the prize to the name. So first up is going to win a Copper Rose colorway from my friend Michelle at Woolens and Nosh. So this is her Tarhi base fingering weight with a complimentary mini. And
Great.
who is the lucky winner
Wendy.
of this one? Wendy. So Wendy is Handmade Studio 11. So Wendy, send us your address. I do note that you are in Australia, so we will have to deal with the customs situation for that, but we will figure out how to get that to you.
Okay. I think Shopify will just
I think Shopify will do it, but send us your address and we'll get that out to you. And so that means the other entry was our good friend Nicole.
Oh, yay,
Nico
Nicole.
05478.
Ooh,
She is winning Berry Basket, also from Woolens and Nosh. Super fun with the complimentary mini. So Nicole,
Awesome.
we will have this at the store for you because we know you come in regularly. Now you have an excuse to come.
And if you want us
to
to
the
send
shop.
it to you, just let us know.
Yeah, just let us know. We can put it in the mail.
Otherwise, yeah.
But
Okay.
all right, and then we need to pull for the 100 grams or bust along.
Okay. Do you want me to do a thing?
Do you want to do a random number generator for that?
Yep.
Okay, let me go back to where am I?
What are my numbers?
2 to 39. So we had definitely more entries. And what is the winner going to win? So what better for 100 grams or bust along than a half pint bundle from Dirty Water Dye Works.
Ooh, that's a nice colorway.
So this is Pond Scum Trio. This is 3 50-gram skeins, so approximately 20 yards for each skein. So you could do some fun color work with that.
Yeah.
For sure. So who is our
24.
lucky winner? Number 24. Let's see. Oh, gotta go back to the first page. Lucky do. How long can it take me to
Scroll.
Okay, so our lucky winner is Big D, who is Denise from Missouri.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And let's see, her project was, she did hat and mittens, snow day mittens, and that really fun hat.
Oh, those are awesome. Look at
Yeah.
that. I love those mittens and the hat.
So Denise,
Congratulations.
Big D, congratulations.
I'm going to send you some Northeastern yarn.
That's right,
Keep
because
you
this is
warm.
from Dirty Water Dye Works.
She's
This is
in
from Boston.
Yeah.
So please send us your address and we'll get that out to you. Congratulations, everybody.
Yay.
Thank you for participating
All
in
the
our
fun things.
in our alongs. So we have 2 alongs that are going right now. One is the Nelken Hood along, and the others is the Pressed Flowers along. She just released a mittens pattern too, mitten pattern.
That's pretty.
Yeah, so that's out there. So all the details are in show notes and up in our group on Ravelry. I did get them all posted. So check that out. And then, we'll probably be looking to launch some sort of like spring cardigan or spring top, or, you know, sort of transition to that
6
summer.
more weeks of winter.
6 more weeks of winter or something, you know.
We're in the midst of that right now, though. So
yeah.
You know,
so
the end of 6 more weeks of winter.
Definitely, you know, check those out. We have classes going on right now. Sign up for the newsletter, like, you know, all the good things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Check out social media to see what yarn I decide to go for this crazy project. And how fast can I knit a super bulky sweater?
Well, it's a question mark
needles.
between you and Jen B, honestly, in terms of fastness. But yeah.
For bulky, that could go pretty quick. And then the question is, the pattern calls for 13s. Should I knit it on 13s or should I knit it on 15s, knowing that I'm a super tight knitter? So I might go up to 15s.
At that scale, though, you'll be probably closer to gauge, right? Because they're big.
15s?
Well, the 13s.
13s are big, too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That forces you to knit at a looser tension than you normally would.
I think so. I'll probably go with what the pattern calls for, and we'll see where we end up. So
yeah.
So that's fun.
Plus, it also has like those big sleeves. You don't want it to be too.
I don't want it to be super billowy.
Yeah.
I may suck those in more. I don't mind a little bit of loose
Did
sleeve.
Did you follow the pattern for your sleeves on this one, or did you cut back like I did? I changed the decreases on my sleeves.
I actually had the decreases happen at a less.
That's what I did.
At a less aggressive pace, because I didn't want to end up with tight sleeves. Mm-hmm. So.
And then I ended up not going. I didn't do quite as many. Oh, I think I might have ended up
with all the decreases.
I think I did too, but it was much further down my arm rather than up here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I might make the decreases happen more quickly with that particular cardigan because it has more of a billowy.
It may pull
sleeve.
in too, so it may be interesting how they do that.
So stand by. So that would be fun. Mm-hmm. But we've got to wrap this up so we can get the store
we can open the doors.
Because apparently the people want to know because the phone keeps ringing. So
very weird.
See what that's all about. But, you know, we'll see you. It is likely it might be closer to a month before we're back again versus 3 weeks, just because we have some scheduling conflicts. February is a short month. But don't worry, we'll be back. I think at the latest it would be like
first week
March
of March
9th. So similar to when we're doing this one. We might be able to get one in the week prior, but it's going to take some scheduling lifts, which we may just not have the ability to do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But stay safe out there. If you want to know what that's in reference to, stick around for the outtakes.
When you least expect it. It's not always weather related.
You know, 6 more weeks of winter, which means happy knitting. Today's the Super Bowl in the U.S., so that'll all be over by the time this airs. So yes, a little bit of like thank goodness. But happy crafting. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Indeed.
We'll see you all soon.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. The doohickey is on.
That's right.
Okay. So it's been 3 weeks.
It sure has.
I think it's going to be 3 weeks before we can do this again. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure I'm gone in 3 weeks.
Okay, so we may have some challenges for scheduling because I'm going to be out of town the 23rd.
And I am out of town the 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
We'll worry. We'll solve that.
Yeah. You might have to look at like
weeknight.
The 3rd.
Or a weeknight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the 3rd either.
Okay.
Sorry.
The 24th I'm out of town. It's February break. So I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm in Philadelphia.
Okay.
The following weekend. So I'm gone too.
So it might have to be the 9th. So it might be a month before we can get back here.
Unless we do something during the week.
We'll
that's I know you're going to be gone that week, but we could maybe
figure something out.
We'll see.
Okay. So it might be a month before we're back again. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's...
Which, who knows what kind of stories we could have by then.
Oh, my
because
God.
honestly, I feel
my
like
God.
it's just never ending.
No, it is never ending.
I have the world's largest black cloud just floating around above my head.
So you have the bad car story. I have the almost bad car story. Like,
I have COVID.
Yeah, the flu's running was in my house. Like, there's other garbage in my house. I've thus avoided it so far. How, I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, the only good news for me with the COVID, other than the world's worst trip home, because there's really nothing like flying home, especially 3 legs.
When you can feel yourself getting sick or know you're sick.
By the time I got home, I'm quite sure I had a fever. I just went to bed. It was bad. The last 2 flights were
rough,
terrible. And I had big layovers in between, which normally is fine, but...
You were like, I just want to be home in my bed.
And I was trying to find a place to just... Anyway, it was not pleasant. And then I got up the next morning and I felt better.
But was Santa Barbara lovely while you were there, or okay? It was okay?
It was okay.
All right.
It was okay. It was, it wasn't like hot and sunny. It was in the low 40s in the evenings and at night and in the mornings. And then it would get up to like 60, maybe 65 was the high while I was there. And it was sunny, so there was that. And it was minus 10 here, so I mean, really.
You were like, well, I mean, I kind of am waiting, but it's not as warm as I was expecting.
Yeah, but we were indoors all day. Yeah. So one day we had some time free, and that afternoon it was kind of rainy.
So, you were like, of course it is.
Yeah. But I did get to walk on the beach, which was nice, and the hotel complex that the meeting was at was lovely. But it was outside of town, so it wasn't even like you could just go wander around downtown in your free time.
You're like, I am striking out across the...
Yeah, and it was on a hill, which was fine. It was like these villa groups of like 10 rooms in each villa sort of building thing. And mine was down towards the bottom of the hill, and our conference center was at the top of the hill, so I had to climb. And when I say hill, I'm not like just a gentle slope.
Right,
I'm
like on the side of a mountain.
The road is like a switchback that you walk up to get up because it's the only way to, So it was great. It was fine, in fairness. I was looking forward to it for the first couple days. It was good to be in a completely different place, disassociated from everything that was going on here. It had been very cold when I left, so that part was all good. I didn't sleep well while I was there, and I'm pretty sure now, in retrospect, that either I already had COVID before I left and just was completely asymptomatic, or that it was coming on. I had my back was really bothering me, and I had big leg cramp. Anyway, it was not, I didn't sleep well. So anyway, then I came home, and I felt better that morning when I got up. I slept in a little bit, so I went to the office. And I thought, well, I'm just going to buy a test on the way to work just to be 100% sure. And it was like
immediate
30 seconds. I was like, all right,
I'm
folks, I guess I'm
home.
going home. Yeah. And of course, my house is being renovated. So I was like, oh no, it's just nothing is easy right now. So I, of course, texted them and I was like, so by the way, this is what's happening. And my whole house, it's plasticed off, so I could go upstairs. And so I just wore a mask. They just kept going. Yeah. They were wearing respirators anyway, because a lot of what they were doing was dusty. And so, and as I said, so I just went upstairs. And in fairness, they were doing some painting stuff as well, like in between. The dust was from the sanding. But so they would do something and then be gone for 4 hours. So that part was kind of fine. The first day, by the time I got back home in the afternoon, I had one call, and then after that, I really did start feeling kind of crappy, and so I was like, I just need to sleep, and they were drilling, and I don't know what they were doing down there, but I was just like, okay, not restful. But then the other couple, anyway, it was fine. You know how it's always fine. Yeah. It's just not optimized, as they say. So and then I thought this week, well. The only good news is by Saturday I was testing negative, which was a miracle, really. 5 days. That seems crazy. So that's why I think I was either already sick or caught it on the way out there. But at least it was fairly mild case, and I didn't really have a fever other than that first day. Well, I didn't really test. It was like
You're
100.
yeah.
It was 100 for a couple of days, but not bad. And then this week I made the mistake of saying to someone at the beginning of the week, oh my God, I'm just looking forward to having like a normal week. And I thought the worst thing that would happen is that I forgot my phone on Monday, because that's bad enough.
That also happened.
10 hours without your phone, which, as we all know.
Which, you can poke fun and be like, oh, well, can't you go without your phone? But
I was able to get into all my email accounts, so that part was fine.
So many programs that I use have two-factor authentication.
Yes, and my computer.
Yeah,
at work.
The two-factor authentication codes go to my phone or texted to my phone. So if I don't have my phone, like, it can cause a huge amount.
It was a problem. I had to wait for an hour and a half for IT to get me a temp access code.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my phone, so there was really nothing for me to do.
Because I can't get into my computer.
Caught up with my team members and talked to them pestered them for a while. But it was fine. But yeah. And then Friday night on my way home from... The only good news about this piece is that I was on my way home from the hairdresser and not on my way to it, because I had COVID. I had to reschedule.
Like, I would have been so mad.
The week of COVID, I had an eye doctor's appointment, a regular doctor's appointment, a hair appointment, and I feel like one other thing. Ugh. It just happened that they randomly were all landing on the same week, which is annoying in itself. But I thought, well, it's the first time after 3 months of dealing with my mom and all the stuff associated with that.
Get the stuff taken care of.
I had pushed them all back and delayed them. Anyway, so I rescheduled all of those things. Finally got in to see my hairdresser on Friday. As I said, thank God it was on the way home from that. There's a really bad intersection here, and I was at it, waiting for the light to turn green, and when it turned green, I left. But the car coming from the other direction did not stop. So they hit me, and luckily... because it was an intersection, they definitely were moving at speed. I was going 5 miles an hour because I had just turned into the intersection. So they hit the front passenger corner of my car. And then they spun around, and I don't even know. It was a mess. It was a very busy intersection. It was dark. It was cold.
There is a huge number of cars that travel through that intersection.
Yeah, and it was... and none of them were stopping. There's also construction along the side, so there's no shoulder right now. Yeah. So my car was like in the furthest right-hand lane. So people were just like beeping their horn. People are just incredibly rude. Yeah. But beeping their horns, and like a guy had stopped behind me, which was helpful because at least his car was a buffer, so I could get out of my car, because it was pretty dangerous to leave your car at that intersection. There's traffic in 4 different directions. Anyway, so the police came after I called them and, did the whole rigmarole. Yeah. So I have no car. Well, I have a rental, but it's just, it's not exciting.
Like, this was not what I wanted to be dealing with.
No, not for the next month. I was kind of looking forward to like some quiet time, but apparently, that's not going to happen. Quiet time while my house still is being renovated, and so let's just layer more stuff on.
We had a close call as well a couple weeks ago. I had a week where I was single parenting because my husband was down with some of the garbage that's going around, and we have a schedule that's set up for 2 adults in the house. Yeah. So, having to, without notice, go from 2 adults who are available to get kids where they need to be to 1 adult was interesting. Let's just say that. So the kids and I were on our way home. It was on a weekend, and we were on a dirt road. So we live on a dirt road, and we were driving on the dirt road. We were maybe less than a half a mile from our house, and a car came flying around a corner, probably doing 60. Not a speed you should be traveling on a dirt road at any time of year.
I don't care. I don't know where you were, but nowhere out there should you be going that fast.
This time of year. And so it came around the corner in a slide because it was traveling too fast. In our lane, managed to slide itself out of our path and do like the slidey shimmy right by us, then super overcorrected, like flipped a couple of times behind us and landed in a snowbank. There was only one person in the car, and they walked away. I'm not going to get into the details of why possibly that was. You can draw your own inferences of
seatbelts.
No, I doubt that person was wearing a seatbelt.
Although it's funny because the police still ask you that. Like, that's the first thing
No, I
she
know.
said to me practically. I was like, is that the biggest issue at this moment?
Yeah,
Yes, of course I was wearing my seatbelt.
Right. Yeah, the driver was not happy that I called 911. So, there, you know,
Yeah.
I see a car flip multiple times, I'm calling 911. Like, that's
Right.
just
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yes.
The police were not impressed. I'm pretty sure they didn't even come out. It was a single car accident. Nobody was injured.
It was funny because,
I don't think they cared.
afterwards I was like, I don't know if I guess I would call 911. Who else are you going to call? Like, you
Right.
can't call the police directly. And police needed to be there to contain the scene so that
Right.
people could
Yeah.
get around it
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
traffic everywhere. And meanwhile, while I'm standing on the sidewalk afterwards, trying to give the police officer, my information, there's like, this is a major intersection. So there's like tractor trailer trucks trying to come through the intersection,
Yeah.
like making the turn that I was making.
Yeah.
And it was just,
Yeah, it was awful.
you know,
I mean, it would be
crazy.
bad in daylight. I can't.
Yeah.
After dark, it just
Friday night.
yeah. Friday night after dark would.
It would have been worse at 5:30. So at
Yes.
6:30, it was slightly better, but it was still not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an easy enough. There's a lot of lights in a row. It's easy enough to get distracted and not be paying attention, but
It can be hard to see through there.
it is
too, with
hard,
the lights
and it's
yeah.
So I'm, in my opinion, the other driver was at fault, clearly, but it's also just an accident. It wasn't like it was intentional or malicious or someone was misbehaving. It's
Driving 60 on a dirt road.
Exactly. So, so it's hard to say, but obviously we haven't seen the police report yet. But they have to file a real report because, and it was funny because she said to me, well, even with multiple cars, I guess, if not much happens, you don't have to call the police. But since my car wasn't really drivable and their car wasn't either, I think that was, anyway. Yeah. But she was very nice. She was very sweet. She was a young woman and she was very sweet. But, she kept asking me all these questions and I was trying to answer them. And I wasn't like in shock, but I was definitely shaken up a little bit. And because it just comes out of nowhere. Like you're just not expecting that. Like in your head, you're like practically home, like getting dinner ready, settling in for the evening.
Right, for the weekend. Like, gonna relax a little bit.
And then out of nowhere, boom. I was like, huh. Okay. Anyway, she's asking me all these things and I'm trying to answer them. And then she's like rattling off all this information.
And you're like, oh my God, my brain just exploded. And,
right.
Yeah.
She's get your stuff out of the car. Of course, my car, I live out of my car. There's like so much stuff in my car. It's just, Not to mention some merchandise from, bulb lengths and some other stuff that's just been sort of hanging in the car until I figure out.
Because you can't take it inside. Or
because my house is under construction.
Yes.
I've already moved as much as I can in there. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know what normal is anymore. That's my new mantra.
God.
This year, I thought, 2024 kind of sucked, so let's just be done with that. But I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't even want to text my friends anymore because they're just like, this woman, all she does is bitch and moan and complain.
I mean, look, if you can't complain to your friends.
I know, but I just am like,
it's just.
I need like a happy news thing to share with people. So,
I mean,
yes,
Small victories, small victories.
Yeah.
We're here. And
yes, I'm fine.
Thank you, everybody, for all the lovely comments.
Yes.
To the last episode.
Yeah.
They were really sweet.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of you. So thank you.
Yeah.
We were keeping it real.
Yeah.
We're still keeping it real, apparently. This is real life here, folks.
Yeah, super exciting.
Nitty gritty. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to drive to Woodstock on Friday morning after the Thursday snowstorm. And, I'm on the interstate and like my phone starts going off with like emergency alerts because we got snow squalls. So I was like driving through snow squalls. Like I was like, why?
Yeah, I have to drive to White Plains on Thursday, which...
We're supposed to get more and more bad weather's coming in.
I know. We'll see how things go. And plus, it's a rental thing. So, of course, here I am on Saturday morning, and like the busiest month in February. February is very busy this time of year. The airport is full of like skiers and whatever else. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even know if I can get a rental car.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, it was fine in the end, and I can't. So, but I get there, and he's like, "Well, this is what we have," and I was like, "Do you have anything a little sturdier?" Because this is
like,
not going to be like.
I just had a thing.
Well, I didn't want to tell him I just had an accident because that might have been a problem. So, I'm very careful about how I phrase it. Someone just hit me. That's how I've been phrasing it.
Right.
But I knew we were getting snow last night, and the last thing I wanted to be driving was some rental car from Florida, all over the place.
With like bald tires and.
But luckily, he had a nice Ford Edge with Vermont plates on it, so I.
Excellent. You're like, I'll take that one.
Yes, please.
Yes. Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
Yes. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did get more snow last night.
Yeah, it was nice snow actually.
Lovely snow. I think we got 5 or 6 inches at my house.
Well, I thought it was less than that, and then I was a few minutes late getting here because, of course, I went out and I was like, well, it's like 4+ like settlement, so probably it was 6.
I think there's slightly less here.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. It looks like there's less. There was supposed to be less snow the further north you went, and more snow the further south you went. So, it looks like less. It could be 6 inches. I don't know. It's light, fluffy snow.
Yeah, thank goodness it wasn't gross snow. So.
The
roads were fine. One day this week they were not fine.
Thursday was awful. Coming home,
I feel like
Tuesday was also not great.
Monday night we had that weird rain and snow.
Yeah.
And Tuesday morning I thought, oh, they look fine. I went out and I was like,
oh no, yeah, yeah.
And I even went the highway that day, which is it takes a little bit longer for me to go the highway to go to the office, but it's not back roads where they don't plow very well. So
I had to take William to the fire station. So he was supposed to have basketball this morning. Basketball got canceled because of the weather, apparently. I don't know.
Of all the weather we've had this week.
This was like
the most snow, but the least invasive.
The least invasive. Like the roads were, like people could have gotten to basketball this morning. It was fine. You know what? I'm not super complaining though, because that was sort of jamming me up for other stuff today.
Yeah.
So because he didn't have basketball, he had some scout stuff that was also going on. So I took him to the scout stuff and then came up to the store. Moncton, the roads were great. I hit the Heinsberg town line and I was like, whoa, just nobody plowed here. That's great.
Yeah, that's like Ferrisburg, Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Ferrisburg is always great, Charlotte.
And then, Shelburne was like, nah, it's still not great. But then when I popped down to Route 7, it was totally clear. So I'm texting Jen. I was like, Route 7's fine. Like, come up Route 7. Can't speak for the other roads. But...
Yeah, it's funny. I also come home the back roads unless I'm stopping to run errands or something. Yeah. And but a couple nights this week I've come home on the interstate because it's cleaner and faster and easier. Even Route 7 is a pain to drive on at night because there's just traffic and there's lights. You got to stop 15,000
But the state maintains Route 7 and it's almost always open. Like if Route 7's in bad shape, like everywhere is in trouble. Is that light went off? When I play these back, like when it does this, it looks darker on the screen than the playback.
I don't care
so
if it's on or not.
Maybe we just, I don't know.
Well, plus it's daylight today.
It is daylight. It's beautiful sunny outside.
Probably
or at least it was when
another set of blinds, it'd be even brighter.
When I came in,
it's
really nice.
A little bit. But...
Anyway, so.
Yeah.
So it's been a few weeks, 3 weeks for both of us.
Yeah,
I think for different reasons, but still just like really.
Yeah, I'm just holding on to like the nice little beach walk I had in California and some of the nice bits and so.
Yeah, fun times.
And you would think there'd be a lot more knitting, but I was trying to work while I was home. Anyway, it's just not as much as you would think, but. Also, as it turns out, as I texted Ange, like it's annoying being sick because in your brain you're like, oh, I'm going to be at home and I can just do whatever, but also you're sick, so you feel like crap. And then, my mantra is always like, if I don't feel like knitting, then something's that I'm really actually sick as compared to just maybe malingering a little bit.
Right.
So I didn't get as much done as I would have hoped for, maybe, but...
I think,
and then I was working from home on Friday for sure all day. So,
I mean, I definitely have been fighting things off that my family has had because I'll
elderberry gummies.
Oh yeah, no, I've been chugging like
And
emergency
I mean,
and like
the healthy gummies, not the other
oranges
kind of gummies.
and like
I know, me too. Oranges everywhere.
The zinc and like I've been like all the stuff. But when I get home at the end of the day, like I can feel like I'm tired.
Yes.
Like and it's been a struggle to like be knitting on stuff because I'm just like, I want to sit here and just close my eyes and not have to do anything. So, you know, just,
the only other good news I will say is that this week for sure you definitely notice like
lighter, longer.
It's light in the evenings when you're going home. So if I leave at 5, which is kind of rare, but that's the other thing is I have to like settle back into like working full time. Yeah.
You get used to a different schedule and you're like, this is nice. Why am I doing this other thing? Like this actually works better.
Yes.
I know when we were coming out of COVID
Yeah.
and, you know, kids were going back and Abigail was still in daycare and going back to daycare. I chose a later drop-off time for her because I was like, I don't know, like, how's this going to work? And I got used to it and I was like, well, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Like, why am I busting butt to, like, get up super early in the morning
and drag her out? Yeah.
Drag her out and, like...
Yeah, well, luckily my workload has been kind of light lately.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mine is not, but I still... Yeah. I'm like, you know, you can only do so much in a day.
I have a team of people that helps a lot, so that's the difference.
I need to get one of those.
You do. Yes.
Anyway, all right. Well, should we get the regular part of this thing?
Probably.
On the...
Yeah, I don't know.
On the go here.
It's kind of,
Okay.
Yeah, I would think there'd be more, but...
All right, I'm not sure. There's like little stuff over here. Knitting a lot of baby things. People are having babies again. Not but like people I know that are slightly younger than me are having babies. So
I am well past that time frame.
It's okay. Baby stuff is fast.
I know. I wouldn't mind making some
cute
baby things. Let me know if you need to. No, I'm just kidding. I got more than enough to do.
Yeah. No. But I know, as you can see, I've like been pulling yarn out here to like start some other projects. So. All right. Are we ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Oops. Sorry. We've been talking for 23 minutes, so I'm just like in the zone.
We're in the zone. What are we doing? All right.